The Final Fantasy series has seen countless titles in its near 40-year history. With the popularity of the Nintendo Switch, plenty of these games, whether they're mainline, spin-offs, or strange experiments, have made their way to Nintendo's hybrid. When it comes to the best, these are the Final Fantasy games to play on Nintendo Switch. What would later turn into its own series under Square Enix, Collection of SaGa Final Fantasy Legend compiles the first 3 Final Fantasy Legend games for the original Game Boy. Much like with the original handheld adventures, players can now easily grab these titles for on-the-go play with the Nintendo Switch family of consoles. These Game Boy adventures may be quaint or dated in some ways, but for a piece of Final Fantasy history with modern affordances like Fast Forward, they may very well be worth your time. Originally released for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita, World of Final Fantasy Maxima is the definitive version of the multiversal World of Final Fantasy. Players will run into FF series icons, from chocobos to cactuars, or even protagonists like Cloud and Lightning as they participate in active time battles. This title was directed to be approachable by all ages, with a whimsical storybook journey players will embark on, alongside these Final Fantasy icons. What was once a PSP exclusive, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is a very impressive remaster that feels at home on the portable Nintendo Switch. Players take on the role of Zack Fair, a soldier who works to hunt down former allies turned rogue agents in this prequel to Final Fantasy VII. The game's mission-based structure makes it perfect for pick-up-and-play sessions as you go about your day-to-day life. Existing fans of Final Fantasy VII will struggle to put the game down as they uncover more about the iconic world and history of Final Fantasy VII. Fans of the Xenoblade series on Nintendo Switch may want to check out the open zone entry Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age. Traversing a world ravaged by war on Chocoback or airship, this game is often praised for its very engaging and exciting exploration. Alongside a charming cast, players will be in for a swashbuckling fantasy epic. The version on Switch features overhauled visuals, fast forward, autosave, and the ability to get more experimental with builds. What may very well be the most beloved and treasured entry on the original PlayStation, Final Fantasy IX has gotten a whole lot of love and attention in recent years. Just turning 25 in 2025, the storybook medieval adventure following a theater troupe and a princess attempting to overthrow an evil queen has become timeless. Featuring gameplay boosts like other classic Final Fantasy re-releases, there may be no better time or place to pick up FF9. The Final Fantasy title that rang in the next generation on the PlayStation 2, Final Fantasy X and its sequel, X-2, are compiled in the Final Fantasy X X-2 HD Remaster, making for hundreds of hours of gameplay if you want to see all that both games have to offer. Today, FF10 is often looked back on fondly as the last traditional entry in the series, and has more fans discovering what makes it special every year. For physical game lovers, the Nintendo Switch is the only place where you can pick up a value as good as what's on offer in the Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII Remastered Twin Pack. Combining the HD version of FF7, along with its God Mode, Fast Forward, and No Encounter options, plus the full remaster of Final Fantasy VIII, players can experience the game that changed the world with Final Fantasy VII in a massively underrated love story forward black sheep amongst the saga, Final Fantasy VIII. Maybe you want the best bang for your buck. Maybe you're a gaming historian that wants to look back in time, or maybe you're a completionist that needs to play every game in a series. For any of those players, the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster is the one for you, compiling Final Fantasy 1 through 6 with a wealth of modernized affordances from altering XP gains to battle speed and a whole lot more. With touched-up visuals, this is the definitive way to experience the games that built Final Fantasy into being the megaton series it is today. Some of the titles in this package are looked upon more fondly than others all these years removed, but there is simply no better bang for your buck release when it comes to Final Fantasy on Nintendo Switch. And those are just some of the Final Fantasy games worth playing through on the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2. Everyone has their favorite, so be sure to let us know what Final Fantasy game on Nintendo Switch you think is the best. And for more videos like this, you can stay tuned to Game Rant.